Hi friends, welcome to practice. So today's class is short and sweet. It'll be just about 15 minutes long. This is a beginner friendly class, so if you're brand new to yoga, this is a great place to start, especially if you don't have time in your day for a full 60 or 45 minute class, or if the idea of that long of a class seems a little inaccessible. I recommend starting here, trying to incorporate this class into your week once or twice a week. And this can also just be a great class to supplement any other movement practice, as we'll really hit all the major muscle groups in the body. You don't need any props for today's class, just being something cozy, and we're going to start lying down on our backs in constructive rest. As you're ready, please lay down, bend your knees, place your feet on the mat, and have your feet a little wider than hip bone apart. Knock your knees in towards each other to touch. Rest your arms in any way that's comfortable. Arms out to the side with palms up is a little more opening physically for the shoulders, also a bit more energetically opening. Palms down on the torso can be a bit more grounding. Let the eyes soften or close. Take a moment to land in your body in this moment. Invite a slow, deep breath in through the nose. And take a gentle, open mouth, clearing breath. And then start to find a smooth and steady breath in and out of the nose. And just starting to even out your inhales with your exhales, starting to simply bring your attention onto the breath. And maybe it's the first time all day you've really noticed the breath. Notice how you're breathing. Are you able to breathe a little bit lower, breathing into the belly rather than the chest, which helps this sense of relaxation. So even though we'll start to move the body, there's a sense of calm and ease going forward. And when we can start to bring that practice off the mat, that's when the yoga really starts to set in and fit in with all moments of our life. When we can do really any daily task, however challenging or uncomfortable it is, but with a sense of calm. Of course, not all the time, but a sense of I can notice when things are getting too loud in my life or too busy, and I can come back to the breath. Now with your next breath in, allow the eyes to flutter open, walk your feet a little closer in, and then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, a little rock left and right. And with your hands around your shins, we're going to start to circle out the legs. So bring your knees out to the side and draw a big circle. Knees moving out, down, in, and up a few times, just making these circular motions with the hips. Doesn't matter how big or small they are. Try to make it nice and fluid. And then pause at center and let's switch directions. So this is a nice way to bring a little bit of life into the hips. I like to think of it as almost oiling the hips. Take one more round here, and then knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze, roll onto your right side, and use your hands to help prop yourself up. We're going to meet on hands and knees in a tabletop position. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, stack your hips over your knees, gently spread the fingers, and let's take some cat-cows. As you inhale, arch the spine, draw the heart forward and up. Exhale, reverse, round the spine. Again, inhale, arch, open the front body. Exhale, reverse, open the back body. Try to keep the arms, the elbows straight. Take a couple more rounds on your own. And we keep the arms pretty straight without locking out the elbows so that the movement's really in the upper back. And then after your next round or so, come back towards center in your tabletop. And from here, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. You can give it a little scooch forward if you need to, so the front knee is over your ankle. I like to lunge on fingertips, have your hands under your shoulders. Bend your front knee as you ground through the right heel. Let your hips slightly come forward in space, and then lengthen your spine. Lift your chest up, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Stay for just another breath here. Starting to breathe into the hips. Take another inhale. And now as you exhale, you're going to shift your hips back, straighten the right leg any amount. And let's just pulse that. So inhale, rebend the front knee. Exhale, hips back, straighten the leg any amount. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten your front leg any amount and stay. So you might come onto your heel, flex your toes towards your face. We're not sitting on that left heel, but the left hip is about over the left knee. Doesn't have to be exact. You can always bring your hands under your shoulders. Flex your toes towards your face, starting to breathe into the back of the right leg. One more inhale. Exhale, rebend the front knee. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Keep the left hand down and then peel your right arm open, twist to your right. Really press down with your bottom hand, lift out of the shoulder, push the ground away from you. Reach your heart forward, reach the crown of the head forward. Spin your top ribs back, bottom ribs forward, so rotating towards the right. Every breath in, can you get longer from the crown of your head to your hips? Every breath out, twist a little more. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. One more breath. Exhale, bring that right hand down. Step your right knee down, back, come back to your tabletop, and then turn your fingers out left and right. Start to rock side to side, just stretching out the wrist a little bit. And if you've been typing all day using your hands, or if you're newer to yoga, it's normal for the wrists to be tight and weak. They will strengthen and open the more you do yoga, really. And then turn your fingers back forward. Let's do the other side. Step your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Get your front knee over the ankle. And then you might lunge on hands, fingertips. If you have blocks, you can, of course, bring your hands to blocks here. Let your hips come forward in space. Front knee stays over the ankle. Ground through the front heel. And then can you lengthen your spine, send your heart forward and up, slide the shoulders back. Take another breath like this. And now from here, start to shift your hips back, straighten that left leg any amount. Doesn't have to be totally straight. And let's just pulse that. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, straighten the leg. Remember, it doesn't have to be totally straight. Don't force it. One more time. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. And now we're going to stay here a few breaths. So you can bring your hands under your shoulders. Flex your toes towards your face. Think hips lengthening back, your heart lengthening forward. So keeping this length in your spine. Breathe, especially into the back of the left leg. That's where you might be feeling it as we start to open the hamstrings. Another breath. Now bend the front knee, hands under your shoulders. Keep the right hand down, reach your left arm up, twist to your left. Push down with your bottom hand, try not to sink into the shoulder. Reach the heart forward, reach the crown of the head forward as you breathe in. Twist a little more as you breathe out. Top ribs spin back, bottom ribs forward. So finding this nice twist, this rotation in the upper back. Your gaze might be down, might be to the side, it might be up. Just do what feels best for the neck. One more breath in. Bring your top hand down, step your left knee back, tabletop. And now turn your fingers all the way back towards the knees. And that can be very intense, especially if you don't have the weight in your hands a lot. So if this is too much, keep your hands turned out. You might rock forwards and backwards a few times, just waking up the wrist a little bit more. I like to tuck my toes under, and then you get a little toe stretch as well. All right, and now turn your fingers back forward. Walk your hands forward about 2 to 3 inches ahead of the shoulders. Hands are shoulder width apart. Make sure your wrist creases are parallel to the top edge of your mat. So that probably means that either your index or your middle finger or somewhere in between those two fingers is straight forward. Inhale, tuck your toes under. Exhale, push your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Look at your feet, make sure they're about hip bone apart and parallel so your inner heels are hidden behind you. Take a little bend in your knees and push your hips high up towards the ceiling behind you. Get longer from your fingers to your shoulders to your hips. Let the head hang freely. And then with your next inhale, lift your heels. End of your exhale, make your way towards the top of the mat. Walk your feet forward as much as you can. At the top, hands to shins, reach the chest forward, slide the shoulders back. Exhale, fold in. Come all the way to stand. Inhale, rise, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, arms by your sides. Find your mountain pose, feet about, hip bone apart and parallel, or feet together with a little space between the heels, whatever feels best. Turn your palms forward, roll the shoulders back and down. Inhale, reach your arms out and up. Bend your knees, exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Hands to shins, inhale, chest forward, slide your shoulders back. Bend your knees, plant your hands, step your left leg back, right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Catch your hip shoulder height. Exhale, drop to your knees, point your toes. So you'll notice my knees are a little behind the hips. We don't want them right under the hips right now. Push the floor away from you. Feel your shoulders spreading across the back. And then take your pelvis in, lengthen your tailbone to your heels. Lift the pubic bone up towards the navel. So in other words, we're not in a back bend, but there's no back bend in the lower body. One more breath in, heart forward. Exhale, begin to lower, pelvis first, then the belly, then the chest. From here, press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. Make your hands as light as possible. Just see if you can hover or graze them over the mat. Exhale, lower down. Press up onto hands and knees, tabletop. Your choice, child's pose or downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Stay for the breath out. In your down dog, make sure your hands are shoulder width apart. You can look at them. Make sure your wrist creases are parallel to the top of the mat. Make sure your feet are hip bone apart and parallel. Bend your knees if you feel the low back rounding, and then send your hips up and back. One more inhale, lift the heels. Exhale, make your way towards the top of the mat. Walk your feet forward. At the top, chest forward, shoulders slide back. Exhale, folds. Come all the way to stand. Inhale, rise, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. One final time. Exhale, fold, little bend in the knees. Inhale, chest forward, shoulders back. Plant your hands, step the right leg back, left leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, plank pose. Exhale, drop to your knees, point your toes. Take your pelvis and tip it backwards. So almost like when we do cat pose, when we round our spine. That's what you want to feel in the lower body. But then use your fingertips to reach the heart forward. Take one more breath in. Exhale, slowly lower, pelvis first, then belly, then chest. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lift your head, your chest, your shoulders. See if you can graze or hover your hands off the mat. Squeeze the elbows back and in. Drop the gaze. And exhale, lower down. Press up onto hands and knees. Child's pose or downward facing dog one final time. Take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. Try to press a little more into your thumb and index fingers. Sometimes that part of the hand lifts up and down dog. Try to keep that down as you spin your inner arms forward and squeeze the outer upper arms back and in. One final inhale, push back. As you exhale, gently drop to your knees. Swing your feet off to one side and find a seated position. So feel free to cross one shin in front of the other. Doesn't matter which one. If you have a block or a blanket and if you'd like to sit up on it, of course, go ahead and do so. From here, inhale, reach your arms out and up. And exhale, twist to your right. Bring your right hand behind you, left hand to the right near your thigh. Inhale, sit up a little taller. Exhale, twist. Left ribs forward, right ribs back. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, rotate. Roll the shoulders back. And if it feels okay on the neck, turn the gaze over the right shoulder. One more breath in. And then exhale, release. Come through center. Inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, twist to the left. Left hand comes behind you, right hand to the left near thigh. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. And exhale, twist. Right ribs spinning forward, left ribs back. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, twist. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe turn the gaze over the left shoulder. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Come through center. Bring your hands behind you and then switch the crossing of your shins so the opposite one is in front. And just take a moment to wiggle around. Find a comfortable seat where you're right on top of your sit bones. As you inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale, bring your palms together in front of your heart. Roll the shoulders back and down. Keep the length in your spine, the lift in your chest. Lower your chin, and then let the eyes soften or close. Take a moment just to pause before continuing the rest of your day. Observe any qualities that are present that you'd like to bring into the rest of your day. Maybe this feeling of being a little more grounded and steady, or a little more open and at ease. And take one final breath in through the nose, and clearing breath out of the mouth. And thank you all for practicing. Enjoy the rest of your day.